Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc Prison Talk. Hope everybody's out there enjoying life, because over here at Fresh Out, we enjoying life. We trying to bring you better content, some good interviews. If you guys haven't got a chance, check out our website at www.FreshOutSeries.com. Also, if you got any questions, hit us up at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. And subscribe to our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Patreon. Our Fresh Out Series is our handle on those. And, we'd love to see you guys subscribe and check out the content there. And also be on the lookout for our podcast coming real soon, the Fresh Out Series podcast, where me and my business partner, which you guys haven't met yet, will be talking about some prison stuff, some busting cheeks, and some wig splitting. I know you guys love that shit, so we're gonna have some good stuff for you guys, some good stories about some cheek busting. Anyways, had a question from one of our viewers. Me and my friends are debating whether you can buy yourself a better cell, bed, food, and even protection if you are rich before getting in prison. How can money change your life in prison? Good question. How can money change your life in prison? As far as if you got a really good attorney, you might be able to get him to get you designated to a facility that is more favorable for visiting purposes, meaning maybe a lower categorized facility. That means that you have more privileges, you have better food, you have better sleeping conditions, shit like that. Money can help in that aspect. As far as in the Fed, and I said that might be beneficial in the state. In the Feds, it's all based on your criminal history points. So everything works in the point system in the Feds. If you've been to the state, or if you have violence on your record, then you're automatically categorized higher, which means that they could possibly send you to a medium or a high. So your chances of going to a camp, if you have a violent criminal history, are slim to none, even if you have money. That's why a lot of white-collar guys who've never been in trouble, or government officials, police, they go to camps in the Feds because of just how the systems are set up, and they don't have a criminal record, so their points are low, so they get to go to a camp and hang out. As far as if you're at a camp, yeah, you got better food. People are sneaking in food. Motherfuckers in there are, doing whatever the fuck they want to do to an extent. There's one guard per 100 inmates, so motherfuckers might have access to different things that they've snuck in. As far as bed and stuff like that, it's the same shit. It's still the cot, still sleeping on the cot. It's most likely a dorm situation, so you might be on a top bunk, so that doesn't necessarily matter. Now, if you got money, you might pay a dude to say, hey, let's switch bunks, and you can make that happen. Also, even in the Feds, if you got money and you want a single cell, you might have access to where you can talk a motherfucker into switching cells, and he can go and put a kite into the guard and say, hey man, can you switch my cell? And then that guy would have to somehow be able to get out of guard to move him in there, so he would have to manipulate that situation. Now, that can be kind of tricky, because if somebody's been there longer than him and they see that cell becomes open and it's a bottom bunk, then they might be in line next for that. So you might have to pay off multiple people to get that bunk, but it can be done. As far as food, you got money, you can buy food out the kitchen. People steal out the kitchen. So there are people stealing out the kitchen. That's a hustle within itself. So you can buy maybe steak meat, chicken, eggs, all kind of stuff. People steal everything out of the kitchen. So you can buy food. You can buy, you could possibly buy a cell to some degree, If you got money and you move into a cell with a guy who doesn't have money, You can pay him to go on the top bunk. You could also, if you have money, have other guys go to commissary for you, because usually you have a limit of commissary as far as maybe $300 a month. So if you're balling, and I've seen where guys do this, they'll have like 3 or 4 people go to the store for them and buy them X amount of commissary to add to their own commissary so that they can have a bunch of different food, and then they'll pay somebody to cook the food for them. There's guys in there, you know, balling ass cartel dudes. I've seen where, you know, they got guys who basically iron their clothes, guys who do their laundry, guys who cook for them, guys who make their bed for them, you know, guys that go shopping for them, you know, guys that get them laundry, new t-shirts, everything, you know, pretty much everything they need in there. They have money so they can pay people to do it. So having money to a degree does get you certain benefits in certain facilities, and depending on where you're at, you can pay guards to sneak you in food. Guards to bring you in maybe In-N-Out Burger, McDonald's, you know, ham, different you know, food goods that, you know, could be, you know, cooked immediately or hidden or something like that. They bring shit in. Cell phones, you got a connection in there. Guard will bring you in a phone, a throwaway, and you know, so that's all day long. You know, if you got money and you know how to talk, you got a mouthpiece, you can get access to a lot of shit that a poor motherfucker don't have access to. You just got to know who you're dealing with and know that you don't want a lot of people in your business, because if they know you have that money, it could also bring, you know, the people trying to extort from you. So, you know, that's one of the drawbacks. But at camps, everybody's in there on some Camp Snoopy time, and most motherfuckers in there are telling on each other. So you can pretty much, you know, buy a lot of shit in there, but you got to also watch out for people in there who are trying to get favors from the guards. And basically everybody in there is in on something. It's just a matter of who's getting away with more stuff. So hope that answers your question as far as if you're rich in prison, what you can get away with. But you can't necessarily buy the facility you want to go to or shit like that. You got to work around whatever limitations you have within that particular place you get sent to.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.